also as teams. So when you come into this room, where you sit at the table determines what your job is. So sometimes you are the manager and you get to direct the team. Sometimes you are responsible for information gathering. You're the only person who can ask a question for your team. You do that by illuminating the lamp. The instructor will come around as the team continues to work. Sometimes you are the timekeeper. You have a stopwatch, and it's your responsibility to keep your team on task and on time. You also lead the evaluation for your team. Was everyone's voice listened to? Did everyone participate? And then sometimes you're the logistics manager. You're the only person who can get up from the table. You're the only person who can source materials for your team. So you need all four roles in order for the team to be successful. And every time you come into the room, you're going to sit in a different chair, because some people need to learn how to be leaders, and some people need to learn how to be followers. So it's a good lesson all around. You will find our engineering process. You see at the back of our room here. This is in every one of our classrooms, in every one of our labs. It's even in our art room and our gym. This is the process that children are taught as kind of a problem-solving process, and it begins with our 4-year-olds. So younger children are given a goal, older children are given a situation and have to articulate their own goal. Then they ask, which is they gather all the information. They brainstorm or imagine. They have to then create a plan, and that can either be a sketch for younger children or a written plan. The plan has to be submitted before children are allowed to access their materials and begin to create or construct. Children have to, within their team, test their prototype and improve it at least once before they turn it in to their teacher. We do up this ante, as you will, as children get older and grow in our building. So, for example, we'll introduce the element of cost. Sure, you can have another paper clip or 2 more pipe cleaners, but that comes at a cost, and that's going to be factored in to the evaluation of your team at the end. We'll then incorporate the idea of scarcity as the next step. So there's only so many egg crates, and once they're gone, there's not one for every team. And we'll talk about, have engineers talk about scarcity of the materials and the need to use alternate materials. And then starting in 4th grade, it's kind of a little frustrating lesson for them to learn. But without them knowing, in the spring for their 3rd quarter major engineering unit, they submit their plans, and without them knowing, their plans are then handed off to the team to their left. And we introduce the idea of subcontracting, because engineers are not digging the foundations and actually doing the brick and mortar themselves. They're directing teams of construction groups. So did you write your plan well enough and clearly enough that another team can take your plan and build your idea and be successful? And that's a bit of a frustrating lesson at the beginning, but it results in much better plans the next time around. So we do that. Any questions? We are a Silver LEED certified building, so we're a very green building. And in our very green building, this is actually the greenest room in the building. And that is because it is powered by 6 solar panels that you'll see over here on our roof. So these are not... so these solar panels aren't in any way meant to power the entire building. They are clearly a learning tool. Now, on a bright, sunny afternoon, when we are actually capturing energy and not just storing it, the little meter at the back of the wall there will actually come to life, and we'll report that out, and you can see some tracking material there. So this is worked into the curriculum as a learning tool for the children. In one of those E-weeks when General Electric, GE Energy comes, they actually have one of these solar panels they bring into the classroom. The kids can touch it, feel it, and they'll actually do a lesson about alternative energies. One of those, of course, is solar power. We also have a section of green roof here, which is just starting to come back to life After winter dormancy, it's all succulents out there. They should be green by next week with St. Patrick's Day, if the weather holds. And green roofs actually originated in Germany in the 1990s. They do two things. They filter rainwater off the roof, and they keep the room below it cool. So the room below this section in most schools is the hottest, and ours is the coolest. It's the computer lab. Okay. Any questions?